Hey everybody, this is Sean with Tab Performance, and today I'm going to go through the installation of the Tab Performance 2-in-2 head pipe on Milwaukee 8 touring models. And if you guys like what you see, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel down below and like us on Facebook and Instagram. Alright, so before we get into the install here, I want to talk about some of the differences between this head pipe, which is the 2-in-2, to the other head pipe for the Milwaukee 8 touring models that we already have out. Our other one, which is a 2-in-1-in-2, does not come with heat shields, so whatever color heat shields you have on your stock bike, that's what color you're going to use. This one, which is a 2-in-2, it does have different colored options, so if you want to start blacking out your bike, maybe you have a 17 model that's chrome, or you have a newer model that is just a standard model, not a special, and you want to start blacking things out, you have the option to purchase this with black heat shields, so that way you can start kind of customizing your bike to the way or the color that you want it to be. This 2-in-2 system will also give you more of a custom look, which we'll see here shortly once we get it onto the bike. When they're on the bike, they actually look like a true dual system, but there's actually a collection chamber that connects the two pipe, which is good for your low-end performance. So it'll look like a true dual system, but with that collection chamber there, you'll actually get a good balance of horsepower and torque. This header also comes with a fully round cross-cylinder piece, and I know that's important to a lot of guys who are looking to maximize the flow of their exhaust. Alright, so those are some of the main differences between our 2-in-1-in-2 and our 2-in-2 system. So when you get this one, if this is the one you decide to go with, it's going to come with all the hardware that you need. It's going to come with the head pipe itself, the cross-cylinder piece, the heat shields, all your new clamps, or hose clamps for the heat shields, all your gaskets, and bungs for your narrowband and wideband O2 sensors, all your brackets. So just like all of our other install videos for our headers, the first step is going to be to remove the bags to get the mufflers off. The process to get the bags and the mufflers are going to be the same for both sides, so I'm just going to show the one side. Take these off. We'll have two thumb screws in here holding on the bag. Next, we're going to remove the mufflers. On both sides, it's going to be two 1/2-inch bolts holding it in at the bracket. On the clamp on this side is going to be a 15mm. On the left-hand side, it's a 9/16. Next, we're going to remove the cross-cylinder piece, which is held in place by a clamp that holds it onto the header. It's a 9/16, loosen the clamp. Then also there is a bracket holding it underneath to the frame. That's a 1/4-inch Allen. The clamp is loose. Spray some WD-40 down in there. Help loosen it up. Then I'm going to go to the other side and pull it out from the opposite side. Now we can go ahead and remove our right-hand floorboard. I don't like to remove the whole thing just to save some time. Just loosen the front bolt and take the back bolt all the way out and just drop it down. Now we can take off our heat shields. There's a couple clamps. There's two on this rear part and two on each cylinder. All of these are 5/16. Next, I'm going to loosen up the flanges here at the heads, and I'm going to just loosen them so that way I can pull it out a little bit without the whole thing falling off, and I'll have more clearance to get my narrowband O2 sensors out. I also have our 1/2-inch bracket right here to take out. Being able to do this will give you the clearance you need to get those O2 sensors out. 9/16. are out, you can go ahead and loosen your flange bolts, or flange nuts all the way out. We'll want to remove these C-clips because we will be reusing them. So our next step here is going to be to remove our header gaskets. The new header will come with new ones, so we can replace these ones to make a good seal. What you have to do is take something flat, kind of peel it up a little bit. Pulls right out. Depending on how old yours are, these may come out in one piece or 50 pieces. When they're out, take the supplied gaskets. Make sure that beveled edge is facing out, and that'll give your header a spot to seat into. Just set it in there. So this header will come with a new mounting clamp, and where we mount that is underneath the transmission cover, so we'll need to take off the cover. That is a 3/16 Allen. Once we get the outer cover off, we have two more bolts to remove. They're these two right on the bottom here. That's where our bracket will bolt into. They are a 1/4 inch. Once you get the bracket on, go ahead and tighten these down. We do have a torque spec for those. It's 22 to 25 foot-pounds. Reinstall your cover. Last step before we can put everything on, we have to remove our cross-under bracket. 3/16 Allen. There's two bolts. Be sure to keep track of them because we will be reusing them. Now we can reinstall the cross-under piece that comes with the 2 and 2 head pipe. We're going to reuse our stock hardware, and we just want to install these loosely so that way we can get everything fitted up, and then once everything's fit and in place, we can snug everything down. When you get the cross-under loosely fitted, take your clamp, put it into position to where it's facing the rear of the bike and down, so that way we can access it later. You want to remember to do this now, because if you get everything on there and forget to do this, you're going to have to take everything back off. Once that's on, we can go ahead and start mocking up the header. A couple things. You want to plug whichever O2 sensor bung you're not using. We're not using the wideband, so I'm going to use the supplied plugs. Plugs are in. Need to reinstall the flanges. When everything is loosely fitted, we can install our O2 sensors as well as our clamp to our bracket. And one thing to keep in mind about this is the clamp will sit on top of the bracket, it doesn't straddle it, so you can actually get the clamp on, put the bolt through the clamp itself, then set it through your bracket hole and then tighten it from the bottom. And then that's just one of the reasons why we keep this loose, as well as to get our O2 sensors in. And then we'll tighten everything up once we get our mufflers on and we have our final fitment. To help make sure everything's lined up, I'm going to install the mufflers before we tighten everything. The muffler's on and everything's aligned and in place. Now we can go ahead and start tightening everything down. We have our head bolts, our exhaust clamp, or a clamp here on the bracket, cross under clamp, and the 2 clamps holding on the mufflers. Now we can take our heat shields and install the supplied hose clamps. We'll have to loosen them. And you'll want to set these in a way that's easy to access them and tighten and loosen them when they're on the bike. What you'll do is you'll take the clamp, slide it through a little pocket. You have all the hose clamps on. We can go ahead and install it onto the header. The last section of the heat shield it's a pretty tight fit, so all you have to do is slip your hose clamp over the muffler, and then it's gonna, before it seats, it's gonna kind of catch on the exhaust clamp. All you can do is squeeze it into place, just like that, and a little sleeve that the hose clamp goes through will stand the heat shield off from the muffler, so that way there won't be any rubbing or any heat related issues.